Hello, my name is Ethan. We're about to shoot a different video today since I want to do something else now. Okay, so with women's 10, I've already done a bunch of games. I don't have no recording footage, but I'm just going to tell you who won. Alabama versus St. Nicholas, 92-64. Middle 10 versus Montana State. Montana State won. Pittsburgh versus Norfolk State. Pittsburgh won by 11 points. Central Florida versus East Carolina. East Carolina won by 4 points. North Carolina versus Rhode Island. Rhode Island won by 3 points. Rhode Island won by 7 points. Tulane versus Longwood. Longwood won by 6 points. Michigan State versus St. Thomas. Thomas State, I think. They obliterated them with a 20-point lead against them. UNLV versus Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky won by 3 points. Arkansas versus Morehead State. Arkansas won by 1 point. South Alabama versus Troy. Troy won by. Can you shut up? Okay. What was that? Okay. South Alabama lost to Troy by about 16 points. You could check me on that. Villanova versus Whiteoak. Villanova won by 10 points. Miami versus Radford. Radford won by 3 points. Texas Christian was Winthrop, if I can pronounce it right. Texas Christian won by 8 points. LSU won by 12 points. And they beat Kansas State. Cincinnati versus Mercer, I think I'm pronouncing that right. And they won by 12 points. You can check me on that. Kent State won against UMass by 11 points. Kent State lost to Colorado with 100 points. Towson won against Georgia by about 27 points. In a non-competition game. Clemson versus NC Central. Clemson won by about 7 points. Navy won against a close game against Stanford, only 2 points separating the two, but Navy did move on to the next round. Miami, Florida. Shut up, I'm trying to go to bed. Okay. Miami, Florida won against Milwaukee by 3 points, so a close game right there. And we got to go back to non-contest games with Florida State winning by 30 points. Ohio State wins against Texas State by 3 points. St. Louis wins against App State, Operation, by 5 points. Arizona versus Sac State. Not sure what that means. Arizona won by 9 points. DePaul versus Sanford. DePaul won by 7 points. Oklahoma versus Stetson. Oklahoma won by 8 points. And that brings us to here where I've already had the 5 games and I will play them. And since I already got them set up, we're finishing the first quarter of the first round. So what I'll do is one quarter per 3 days-ish, so 2 per week. And I'll do the rest of the state stuff, so stay tuned to the next one. And we got Charleston here versus Abilene Christian. So we're gonna play the game, and Abilene Christian with the upset. Now let's move on with Maryland versus Northwestern State, and we are going to play. Okay. Maryland, Northwestern does not take the upset, and Maryland does move on to the next round, which is the round of 128. Now let's go to the next game here, where Princeton is going against Cal State Fullerton. And we're playing on a neutral site here. just to note, if you see it, I will try to avoid that, but sometimes it does happen. I'm not changing it. Okay, 19-point victory for them. We are moving on. Providence plays Weber State. We are again at a neutral site. And in Providence will be the obvious winner, but Weber State will pull off the upset. Let's see. And nope. Okay, last sim for the lineup. We got Furman versus Lipscomb. Neutral site. And Lipscomb pulls up the minor upset. I will see you when I have the next set of games. Hello, my name is Jacob. We're back with another thing. We will continue this video with 16 more games and 16 more. The video will be over for today. So, let's do the Suns. UCLA is now UCLA is one of the top teams in the nation. So let's begin. And UCLA and Niagara pulls off the major upset. Oh my! We came for 7 Miss. We're at a neutral site, and Duquesne pulls off the normal game with 73 to 69. Dayton vs UTEP. Let's see who wins. And Dayton wins in another contest by 16 points. Utah vs Drizzle. Let's play the game, and Utah. Oh my God, Drizzle pulls off the upset. And let's go to Virginia vs Jacksonville. This is at a neutral site, so. And Virginia wins with 74 points to 51. And they move on to the next round. And at this time we got Grand Canyon versus North Carolina Wilmington. And let's see who wins. And Grand Canyon wins. Florida Atlantic faces off against San Diego here. We got a neutral site. And San Diego upset a really good team, and one of the best in the nation, I should say. And no, but by 2 points, that should be that's a scale for them, because you keep winning for the rest of the season. And in Hofstra vs Air Force here, which was a good team, but good team this season. But let's see who is going to win. And Hofstra wins by 2 points. And now we got Marquette again, one of the best teams in the nation, versus Portland State. And Marquette wins with a 10-point victory. And moving on to Charlotte versus Fresno State at a neutral site. And here we go. And Fresno State wins in a non-contest. But let's move on to the next game, which is Mississippi State versus Wofford. And again, we set it at a neutral site, and Mississippi State wins with 78 to 60. We got BYU versus UC Davis. But UC Davis is better at basketball, but let's see. And UC Davis does not win. BYU has a score of 92 in the end and beats them in a contest. Alright, Indiana versus Northern Arizona. Let's go. And we have Indiana winning in a non-contest with almost 30-point victory. UNC Greensboro versus Boston College. Set it at a neutral site and jumble plays. UNC Greensboro wins with 93-59. Let's move on to the next game. North Carolina State versus Grambling State. Set it at a neutral site and North Carolina State wins by over 20 points. In the final game, we got Bradley versus Old Dominion, set at a neutral site, and Bradley wins. I'll see you when I get the next batch of teams. Alright, we are back with this tournament finishing up the second quarter here, and we got 16 games ready to simulate, and here we go. Tennessee versus SIU Edwardsville. Let's see who wins. Can SIU pull off the upset? And the answer is no. Resounding no. Now let's move on to Southern Illinois versus Youngstown State, neutral site. And Youngstown State does pull off a 6-point victory. Now we move on to North Texas versus South Carolina. Now let's play the game. And North Texas wins. And they will move on to the round of 128. We got the next game, Washington State first round at a neutral site, and Washington State does win with a 23-point victory. And alright, we got Kansas State versus Howard, neutral site, and Kansas State does win. Then moving on to the next round. We got Washington versus Chattanooga, if I'm pronouncing that right. And Washington wins by 3 points. We got games like these where they are close. Then we got the next game, Utah State versus Loyola Chicago at a neutral site. We played the game, and Utah State wins, and basically a non-contest, and I think a 17-point victory. You can correct me on that. And we got Santa Clara versus Eastern Kentucky at neutral site, and we got Santa Clara losing to Eastern Kentucky by 4 points. We got Baylor versus Texas Arlington. Baylor is one of the best teams in the nation, but can they pull off the victory? Let's see. And the answer is yes. With a 15-point victory for Baylor, they could easily win this, but now we have to move on with Belmont versus Fordham, and let's see who wins. Belmont secures the victory with 13-point victory in this. No overtime so far, but that might change. Missouri versus Buffalo. Let's see who wins. And it is Buffalo by a 7-point margin. And now we got Yale versus Long Beach State, and let's see who wins. And it is Long Beach State with 61-75. Now let's move on with a 14-point victory on Long Beach State. We move on to the round of 128. Auburn will be competing against North Florida in this match, and Auburn does pull off the 21-point victory. Let's move on to the next game, which is Temple versus Hawaii at a neutral site, and we see that Hawaii pulls off the victory with with 85 points and a 10-point victory. Honestly, I want Hawaii to win because it should be fun if Hawaii won. And Michigan boosts Detroit. Let's see who wins. Remember, all these games should be at a neutral site. And Detroit does pull off the victory. Let me tell you. Comment if you know this is a state rivalry, but I'm pretty sure this is in the same state. So, a 19-point victory for Detroit, and thus they will be moving on in the last game of this batch and of today, Oral Roberts in St. Bonaventure. And St. Bonaventure does win with a 12-point victory, and I will see you next time. And remember, you can always see the tournament. You can always look at the tournament. I'll try and provide a link in the description. Alright, goodbye.